Now we have to do the delete section of our CRUD. We'll just take CRUD, update the section completed. Now delete. For this, we have to give the link in the, we have to give a delete link here. So take the list data view here. I'm just copying this edit for delete also, because same thing we are doing, passing an id to our delete function. So delete, we can do one differentiation design. User id is here. We have to create a delete function in users controller with the user id. We need the user id for the deletion. So in users controller, I'm going to create a function, public function, delete, with the id, because we are passing the, we have to pass the id as parameter to work in the delete. So we have to use the parameter in the function, and we are passing that through url parameter. So if we are taking this, we will get the id here. We need not have to echo the id, because we will definitely get the id. So for this, what we have to do, we have to call a function in model for deletion. For that, function delete user also. We got the id same as like this, id user also. Any name we can give, because we will get the data from there into this model function. Here we have to write the delete query. Simply I'm just copying for all the details. Now I'll just write it. This db, we have a delete function for query builder class. Let us just to check the query builder class delete function. Just to search it, look good for delete in the tutorial. Delete username array. Simply this one is needed for us. There are a lot of variations we are looking. Like we can find where id delete username like this also, but some other things also below. This is simple way we can do this, either this way or this way. I'm just taking this with our users table and comma array of dollar id, sorry, id hyphen dollar id, like this. And we are running this. We got the delete link. On clicking on this below top bottom left side, we got users delete /1. When we are clicking on this, we should go to the users /delete function in the users controller, delete function with 1. Let us check. For checking, we have to go to the index file like this, /index.php. No need to write. We can just simply here, no deletion work. Just simply clicking on delete. No, okay, we didn't call the function from the controller like this. Dollar this, we have to call that function dollar this model name, users model underscore model delete user function with the ID which we got from the URL into the function. We can store that into any result. If we are returning that from the model, we didn't return. I'm returning this from the model. Anyway, I'm just taking this, and we can check it like this. If we want to redirect to the index page, let us check this right now. Delete. Again, one more issue at line number 51 at model. This is model line number 51. Here, undefined variable ID. Delete $ID. As we are passing that variable through the URL, the ID is this users model delete user ID also. Okay, this one is the issue. I just gave that as ID only. If you are giving any user name here, we should definitely use that name. Otherwise, it will tell that this name is not identifiable. Hope delete worked correctly. Let us go to the users list. Deleted that file. Errors are okay, good for us, so that we will identify. After fixing some errors, we will get the issue easily a second time. If there are big data here, then it will be easy for us to understand the errors. It is better to practice errors also. So we got the delete, and after returning this data into the result, we can do the same thing here also. Like if not copying, if $res, then we can simply call, no need for the bracket, this redirect to the index file. One more important thing, delete is okay. We can give some links to this add new and back buttons also. This back button also. So for now, we have this list data. List data has add new here. So we can use the add new there also. Users slash list data here. Add new has href users slash, I think the function name for adding new add user, for adding add form, add user users slash this one. So we will get the add new link here, users slash add user list data. Inside the list data, clicking on this, okay, it will go to the add user, and inside the add user we have a function called users controller list data. Inside the add user we have a file called add form. We have to take the add form and edit form for back button. The inside edit button also there is a back button. Okay, we have this edit form now. We can link that back button to the base URL slash users. Users means index file. Users. So the back button previously was this one. It was only it was going to base URL, but now we can change that to here. One more thing we can do. Like we can add the configuration file default route to, um, as I already told, there is a default router for in any installation of coordinator or any project. We can set a default router in routes default controller here. Here it was welcome in our previous site. In our installation, we can change that to users. Now, if we are just simply doing like this, we will get the users controller index file. So it is better, as I told earlier, if we have to start with the controller, we can give that controller here. So when we are starting this domain name, we will get that controller. Then when we are clicking on this add new, it will go to the corresponding user slash add user. And if you are clicking the back one, we will go to the coordinator base URL itself. So no need for adding the uh, add user. Not no need for adding now. No need for adding the users controller here, because we already it is already taking base users controller for the base URL now, as we gave the routes as the default controller. So the default controller which on the base URL will be uh, users itself. So no need for giving the users here once again with the back button. Also, if we are adding one more data, test, save, we got the data, delete, went back, redirect back to the main form, users controller. No need for then redirecting. Okay, that base URL we gave like this after redirection. We are redirecting to users control. That is okay. Other than that, if you are giving it while after updating like this also, it may take to the base URL back to the, let us check, just checking some variations also. After we are editing this, this also will go to the base URL like this. No need for writing users here. We can simply write like this also. Now because the default controller is the base URL users, so we can redirect to the slash base URL also. This means base URL, simply slash. It will go to and also after creating one, we have to give the validation in next class for each and every sections. So it is here after editing I gave that slash users. No need for that even though after editing, after updation and deletion, after insertion we are going to the users. That is also correct, users, or simply if not writing users it is okay. Okay, then we can go to the validation section in next class.